I'm originally from Nigeria. I moved here when I was 9 years old, and moved to South London with my mum and my two sisters, and spent the majority of my life growing up in sort of Bermondsey, New Cross, and now I currently reside in Deptford. And I went to school in South East London as well. Went to a couple of schools. And South East London back then was a really difficult place to navigate. So, you know, I think a lot of people did all right to come out unscathed, whereas some of us weren't so lucky. And I think one of my saving graces was that when I went to my second secondary school, a school called Geoffrey Chaucer, my drama teacher there was a guy called Peter Camplin, who went to the National Youth Theatre when he was in his teens. So somehow I kind of got into drama, and I was quite shy. I was really shy when I was at school. Probably primarily because I had the whole kind of uh, immigrant accent and everything else, which people might choose to imitate or poke fun at, which was always a bone of contention with me, and hence I would get into a few fracas sort of situations. But aside from that was the fact that somehow within me there was an element of this show off, I guess. An introvert who was dying to be an extrovert, who felt as if he had a lot to say and a lot to show off about. So yeah, I got into drama, and through drama I discovered that I had a somewhat humorous personality, I guess, whereby people would say, "Oh, you're funny, do something, say something funny." So I don't know why I'm not a comedian, because, yeah, obviously, the encouragement was enough to kind of go, actually, I don't want to be funny. I don't want to be funny just for people's entertainment, sort of thing. But I liked for a time. I liked being on stage, and I liked performing. I liked slipping into other characters and just kind of giving those characters body, voice, soul, and yeah. So through that, through just acting at school, my drama teacher was like, "I think you actually got a bit of potential. Why don't you go and try out for this thing called the National Youth Theatre?" And I, for a long time, for a long period of time, from when I was just acting was just something that was just kind of casual. It was just a chance to kind of just play around and stuff like that. So and then myself and three other students from my secondary school went to audition, and I was the only one that got in, and it was just kind of like, whoa. I thought Matthew was a lot better than me at doing some stuff. I thought Layla would have got in. And there was me, lonely Gbolahan from South East London. And I had to go and do a course with the National Youth Theatre in Holloway Road in North London. And up until that point, I don't think I've ever crossed the river and gone that far before, ever. Yeah, so did a few productions with the National Youth Theatre, and that was going well. And then they started up this thing called Short Nights, which was to say, if you got a voice or something to say, why don't you write a short play? Which actually, I believe Rhea Parry, who's directing Mad About the Boy, started, because we met in the National Youth Theatre as well. So I wrote a play called Roadside, and I won't go too much into it, but they liked the initial sort of workshop version of it, and they told me to extend it. So I wrote a sort of a full-length short, which was sort of about 50 minutes. So yeah, the way Mad About the Boy ended up landing here was in this space yet to be defined and finished, which is quite really exciting, I think. And to think that it's going to be launching it is something that I'm personally really proud of, because I'm a director as well, so I directed some of the responses to 66 books, which was really nice. And so to think that, there's, besides the opening of the building, there's another chapter to that book. This in itself, this studio in itself, is a genesis of Medani's artistic directorship in the building. And I believe Medani and a couple of people from the office saw Mad About the Boy when it was in Edinburgh last year, and we were fortunate enough to win a Fringe First. Woo woo! Which is really nice. So yeah, they came to it, they loved it, and they said they wanted to bring it here, and yeah, I'm excited. I wasn't going to argue with them. The essence of the play is it's about three generations, and it's about the miscommunication between three generations. And there's a young boy, his father, and the boy's school counsellor. But it's also in essence a very sort of urban lyrical piece, which very much pays homage to the use of language by an inner city youth, but then also our linguistic and literal understanding of words, and how words are supposed to be used, but then how they can be used differently to mean something else. So, and that essence in a way covers a lot of London, a lot of places outside. And so it reaches beyond London as well, because language travels, and in a way I wanted this piece to be quite universal in how it's felt by people, and how different generations might struggle to speak to each other. So it being at the Bush means that there's a whole host of the community around the Bush who will really identify with my play. And if it went to theatre in Hackney, or a theatre in Southwark, or a theatre in North London or something, people, or theatre in Manchester, all those places and all the people there would be able to connect with the voices and the characters on stage. And I think that that was really important when I was writing it, and that's why it feels very much as if the Bush is as much a home for Mad About the Boy as anywhere else, as much as it can be performed on the street.